In Miller v. Alabama, 2012, the Supreme Court ruled that mandatory life without parole sentences for juveniles convicted of murder violate the Eighth Amendment's prohibition against cruel and unusual punishment. The court held that the sentencing courts must consider the characteristics of the youth, such as immaturity and a greater capacity for change, before imposing the harshest penalties on juvenile offenders. This decision did not it did not absolutely ban life without parole for juveniles, but required an individualized sentencing process that takes into account mitigating factors related to their age. But what they don't tell you is, once again, the Supreme Court's ruling in Miller v. Alabama and later in Montgomery v. Louisiana affirmed that mandatory life without parole sentences for juveniles are unconstitutional, but a sentence of life without parole is still permissible if the court makes a factual finding of the juvenile's permanent incorrigibility. The judge may believe that the defense has not presented compelling evidence of changed behavior or that the crime was so heinous that rehabilitation is unlikely. Some judges may focus more on the details of the crime and the harm caused rather than the narrative of rehabilitation, even if the offender was a minor at the time. Over the past 40 years, from my research, it is shown in science telling us the male brain does not fully mature to around the age of 25. It has taken the United States decades upon decades to finally implement resentencing for youth 18 and under, previously 17, but 18 and under. Now, Tae was 15 when this crime happened. When he's released from prison, he'll be around 50 or 51 years old. Now, it doesn't take a scientist to realize he's going to have a hard time readjusting to society. 35 years is still way too long. Now, me personally, I believe 10 years should be the max, except in the rarest of cases. Now, I'm not minimizing or justifying any type of murder, but it's a difference when there's no food in the house, you're too young to work, you don't have many resources or any resources at all, and your sister is hungry. So you decide to make the most obtainable decision for you at that time in the ghetto, and you go and rob somebody and it goes wrong. Or if somebody shoots up your mom's house, right, and you go spin the block on who did it. It is very different from that white kid that woke up and decided to kill his whole family, dogs, sisters, everything. Those are two different criminal minds. The mitigating factors are important. Kids doing 35 years will have more experience sharpening knives than driving cars or doing a trade. I hate to say it, but growing up in certain parts of Detroit is a trauma within itself. Now, if anybody going against me on there, I don't know what to tell you.
Everything I put out so raw, you just can't sniff. I got the best O-line, even on goal line, you can't bliss it. You're not a hustler, you keep getting in front of you just can't flip it. You ain't really got it, you P. Diddy, you be remixing. Oh, where he just got a new Glock, that's a free biscuit. Petty Tupac know what's up, we know on the mill